Hello guys. This will be our today's sixth video for improving communication skills, and today I'm going to talk with you about a very important issue, which is afforestation. This is a very important topic which we call as afforestation. And actually, afforestation means forestation of some area, or we can say some land which is not covered under any forest in the past. So we can say when we use forestation in a place, or we can say plain area, so this is called as afforestation. And if we know, we talk about the prehistorical time about India, then at the time whole part of the India was covered with the forest covers. But we know that after increasing population, we know the forests are now being decreasing due to the increasing population all around our country, and there is a lot of pressure on the on these forests, and we are being cutting down these forests. So we know that due to this, the importance of afforestation, I'm going to today to talk you about all the aspects of afforestation. Okay. And if we talk about, since a very long time, the forest cover in area in India has been decreasing, because we know due to the increasing, we want industrialization. Due to the we are what we are doing, we are cutting down the trees, and in this place we are producing, or we are creating new cities, new industries, and all these types of things. These require some places, and so we are cutting down these trees for the needs of our, for the need of people, for employment, and all these types of things, for industrialization. So we are cutting down these trees. And if we talk about, whenever we know something, we create some new industry, whenever we we introduce some types of plants, we create them in our society or in India, we know that we required a lot of a bigger area for the production of them. So in need of the industries, we are cutting down the trees of very large forest areas, and there is a lot of pressure on the forest areas. And we know due to this increasing deforestation, the global warming has also been increasing. So I think that afforestation will play a very important role in today's time. And now let us talk about some of the different aspects of that. We know that trees actually, they take carbon dioxide from the environment, and increase, or we can say change them into oxygen. And oxygen is, we know, very much required for human survival, and we actually take oxygen our inside from inhalation, and then or we can say transfer the carbon dioxide, and these carbon dioxide used by the forest, or we can say tree covers in on our country, or we can say on the earth. And we also know the importance of forests in cleaning the environment and decreasing the population all around the world. And we know that Amazon is also called as the lungs of the world. And nowadays there is also a lot of pressure on the Amazon forest coverage, and they are being cutting down by illegal poachers, or we can say people in the need of, they are also doing many types of crop, and they are using these areas, they cleaning the areas in terms of crop. And we know, since crop or crop production and food production, they actually a lot of economical, and they provide us economy, they provide us money. And whenever there is a talk of forest, they are very much, they do not provide us any type of, I think, money in direct cash, or we can say direct money to the people of the society, so that we don't care about the cutting down of trees, and we are brutally cutting down all the trees present on the earth, and we are not caring about what will be the situation after cutting down all the forests all around the nation, or we can say world. So, and if we talk about the pollution level, we know in bigger cities in India, since there is a less coverage of forest around them, and we know the condition of Delhi, and there are very big cities in all over the India, and in which pollution is day by day increasing, and still we are not caring about the forest coverage, and the cutting down of all the forests. And also we know there were a lot of projects in the past, like in Maharashtra we were some metro projects. And if we talk about in there is also very threat on the Bakswaha forest in Madhya Pradesh. So all these types of things all around the country are happening, and we are not caring about all these types of things. And there are also very repercussions of cutting down of trees, and global warming is increasing. Like we have many cases of wildfires in the past, like if we talk about the Australia, and all over the world, there are many places like cold places like California, USA, and we have also our places like Himalayan region. And nowadays wildfire is also happening in these types of areas, and I think these things cannot be, we cannot predict these types of things will happen in the past, but now I think these types of things are always happening all around the world. And I think this is the cause of the global warming. And global warming is direct impact, direct result of the cutting down of all the trees. And we also know that the forest covers are decreasing, and the ice sheet are also being melting down. And there are a lot of small countries all around the world, they have a fear that we will get drowned in the water if the level of the sea will increase further. And but we are doing a lot of Paris climate agreements and all these types of meeting, usually COP types of meeting, conference of parties of Paris agreement. We have also done Paris agreements, and in past there were also a lot of agreements, but now I think the result is zero. And we are actually doing meetings and meetings, and there is a not result coming out of these all types of meeting. So that I think that the work is required on the ground level. So I think we have to do work on that. Actually we are ignoring all these types of things, and I think sustainable development in today's time is requirement of our country. And people do live in a lot of luxuries, we don't care about. And we know that a lot of people, they try to thief, they try to do thief of electricity, and they use illegal electricity in their houses, and they do not pay for them. So that sometimes I think people do always think that I'm not paying the money for these things, and I'm not paying the money. But I think that nothing is free in this world, and I think when you think that this is free for you, I think some other person or some our environment is paying for that thing. And but we don't care about that. And I also think that we have to shift from the coal technology, or we can say we think that we know that in India a lot of portion of electricity has been produced by the thermal power plants. We have a lot of thermal power plants all over the country, and we produce our we complete all our demand. Maximum 50 to 70% of demand of our country in terms of electricity is being completed by the thermal power plants. And now I think we have to shift from the for this coal based electricity production to some types of new we can say renewable sources of energy. Like we can use solar power, we can increase the demand, or we can say production of solar technologies and solar panels in all around the India. And we know that we are also a member of International Solar Alliance, and we are also creating a lot of solar awareness in terms of solar panels all around the world, and the requirement of these things in nowadays. So I think these things will definitely change in the future if we try to cooperate with each other. If all the nations all around the world, they try to cooperate with each other. But I think we are not cooperating, we are only doing many types of meetings, and but the result is coming out is zero. So that is the thing with the with this environment disaster. And actually there are also a lot of cases of crowd bursting in the Himalayan region, and in the past a lot of these things were happened. So that we should take some knowledge from them, and then try to improve in the future. So these things will definitely benefit us in the future. And but I think that work will require, and we cannot do without the work, and just hoping that everything will be fine. But I think without work nothing will fine. And ultimately we all the nations around the world, we have to cooperate with each other. We have to form some types of agreements, some types of groups of the countries which want to improve. I think it is the responsibility of every person which is living in the earth, because we know that the earth don't only belong to a single person. So all have the responsibility to change the environment, to create an impact the world, and to change and to create peaceful and and I also know that a lot of developed countries, they are the cause of the environment pollution. We know that the US, China, and if we talk about India, India is also third in the in production of greenhouse gases, or we can say burning coal in all around the world. So these big countries are creating havoc on the earth, and all the small nations, we can say the weak, the poor nations, they are bearing the brunt of all these types of effects, and all these types of happening. So I think whether if a single country, we can say developed nation or a developing nation, whatever the situation, if any single country will do any misdoing with the with the environment, then I think the we all have to bear the ultimately bear the brunt of all these types of things, and we don't think that I'm not doing this, so I will not be impacted by these things. So we have to get out of this time of mentality that I'm not doing this thing, and so that why I should care about that. I think in India, we people, we always try to think that this thing is done by some other people, so why I do this, why I do a cure for that, why I do think of them. So this is a collective responsibility of all the people who live on the earth. So do not forget that this earth belongs to all of us, and it is not only belong to the human beings. A lot of other creatures are also living on the planet, and we should not at least create some problems for them, because they are also a part of the ecosystem. And I think that if the human get wiped away from the earth, then there would not be a single issue with the earth. But I think if these normal creatures, or we can say small creatures of the earth, like we have a lot of insects, and if these would wipe away from a country, or we can say our world, our ecosystem of the earth, then it will definitely create a havoc on whole the ecosystem of the earth. And you don't imagine what will be the situation after that. So time is remaining now. There is a kavat in Hindi, tab jabhi sorry jab jago tabhi savera. So that is the same thing. Still there is time left, and time for action is left, and we can still take action and change the world, change our earth. So that is all for today. Hope you all guys understand all these things, and able to recall all these things. So if you like the video, do not like the button, subscribe the channel, and press the bell icon. Thank you to you all. Have a nice day.